So we're going to start with the corresponding angles postulate. And what that means is that two corresponding angles, such as say angle 1 and angle 5, or 2 and 6, or 3 and 7. In this case, I think I changed the numbers. Yep, I did. The numbers are a little different than the last one I did. But when this happens, that means that one angle, such as angle 1, and, oops, I should have put that there, is equal to angle 5. So angle 1 and angle 5 are equal to each other because they're in the same place, but this depends on x and y being parallel. So I need to actually say x parallel to y. So I can do that to say it's parallel, or I can actually use the words x is parallel to y. You'll see some of the questions you get in the book or on my test that actually say, you know, certain line is parallel to another line. They won't show that. There's actually three ways that you can know that lines are parallel. One is you're told that. Two is you're told it in words. And the third way is this kind of a symbol. The little filled in triangle, that symbol is a mathematical symbol telling you those two lines are parallel. So I don't have to do either of these. I can just do that mathematical symbol, and you're expected to know then that they're parallel. But because they're parallel, that means angle 1 is equal to 5, and angle 2 is equal to 6, and 4 is equal to 8, and 3 is equal to 7. Now let's come down to the next one, alternate interior angles. And let's take 3 and 5. These two are alternate interior. Whoops, I better say x parallel to y. 3 and 5, therefore, are equal to each other. Angle 3 is equal to angle 5. And the same thing's true for the third one. And let's pick either one of the exterior angles. I guess I'll take 2. So angle 2, the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 8. I could write a little m there for measure. You'll see that sometimes too. Okay. And you're expected to recognize then that if x is parallel to y, then these two are equal. So are these two over here, 1 and 7. So in a way, these two theorems are the same idea, same concept. It's just a matter of interior or exterior. Okay? But you have to term them correctly. And one of the activities that I'll have you do, one of the things I'll have to do on the test, is to give a reason why any of these are, you know, I guess you'd say why they are, what their reason is, the reason why you know something is equal. So if I said, how do you know that 3 and 5 are equal? You would say the alternate interior angles theorem. Okay? I don't even care too much to say theorem, but you have to say because they are alternate interior angles. Okay, let's look at page 2. Consecutive interior. Now in this case, let's take 4 and 5. Those are consecutive interior, but in this case, they don't equal each other. On the first page, all three of those types of things all equal each other. But in this case now, angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180. That's if x is parallel to y, of course. So for this one, you have to remember that it adds to 180. That consecutive interior angles are going to add up to 180. The same thing for the 3 and 6 as well. That'll add up to 180. So if I was told that angle 40 was 140 degrees, I would know that 5 has to be 40 degrees because they have to add up to 180. And that's the basic way that we're going to be using this. So those add up to 180. Linear pairs, such as say 1 and 2, angle 1 plus angle 2, that adds up to 180. 4 and 3 add up to 180, 2 and 3 add up to 180, 1 and 4 add up to 180, and the same thing down here. So you see here, these actually make sense. You know, the only part here you're going to have to really remember is what term to use based on where they are, and whether they add up to 180 or whether they are equal to each other. So these two add up to 180. In the bottom, the vertical angles, the ones that are more just expected that you know now, say 2 and 4, angle 2 is equal to angle 4, so is 1 and 3, 5 and 7, 6 and 8. That's the idea on that. Now, one of the things I want to do here, I had some numbers picked that I was going to record. Let's see if I can find them. Okay. Ah, yes. Let's go back to the first page, corresponding angles postulate. So if I tell you here that angle 3 is, call it 25 degrees. Angle 3 is 25 degrees. Then down here, angle 7 is its corresponding one. So if angle 3 is equal to 25 degrees, angle 7 equals 25 degrees, because, that's a shorthand way of saying because angle 7 is corresponding to angle 3. So I would actually say angle 7 is corresponding to angle 3, and they're equal to each other. And if that's 25, this one automatically is 25 degrees. Now look at alternate interior angles. And I want to say here that for 3, since we know 3 and 5 are equal, I'm going to say that 3 is 2x minus 10, and 5 is 5x minus 70. I think that'll work. 5x minus 70. So write 2x minus 10 and 5x minus 70. Well, angle 3 and angle 5 are equal. If angle 3 and angle 5 are equal, that means that 2x minus 10 is equal to 5x, it's supposed to be a 0 there, 5x minus 70. And now solve. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So I'm going to get negative 10 is equal to 3x minus 70. I'll add 70 to both sides. I'm going to get 60 is equal to 3x. Aha, x is equal to 20. If I put 20 in here, I get 40 minus 10, that's 30 degrees. I put 20 in here, I get 100 minus 70. Oh, that's also 30 degrees, so they're both 30 degrees. That's the next step that you'll take with these, where if you are given this in a form with a variable, you can solve for that variable because these are equal. So as a little warning, the place where I see people make errors is that they look at these and they forget whether they should make them equal or whether they should add them up to 180. So let's take a look at the page we just left here. Consecutive interior angles. I'm going to say that angle 3 is 50x plus 5. And I'm going to say that angle 6 is 8x plus 1. 50x plus 5 and 8x plus 1. Okay. This is one where if you tried to say they were equal to each other, 50x plus 5 equals 8x plus 1, you get a really weird number. You would get 4, 50, negative, you get negative 4 over 42, so you'd have to reduce that. In other words, really weird number. That would hopefully help you to realize that because these are consecutive, you add them up together. 5x plus 5 plus 8x plus 1 is equal to 180. That's what you would do with those because they're consecutive interior angles. So I would do, oops, that's supposed to be a 50 here. So 50x, so I'd have 58x plus 6 is equal to 180. 58x is equal to 174. And then when you divide it, you would find that x is equal to 3. So I could either do this and ask you what is x, or I could say what's the measure of angle 3, and you'd put the 3 in here and you'd do 150 plus 5 and you'd say it's 155. Or I could give you this and I would say what's the measure of angle 1. So you'd figure out this is 155 and then you say, oh, because these are vertical, 1 is also 155. So, and that's where we go next. Look at the last page, well not the last page, page 3. I'm going to give you something like this on the test along with other problems too. I'm going to give you all of this. So I'm going to give you one of these things and I'm going to give you this, and you're going to not only tell me what measure, you're also going to tell me the reason why, And it's going to be based on the one thing I give you, because I have to give you one. If I don't give you something to start with, you can't do any of them. But if I give you one, you can find all of them. So the one I'm going to give you here, let me find my notes for it, because I had one all set up with a certain number. And I can't find it on this one. This one, okay. I'm going to tell you that angle 5 is 32 degrees. So here's the way I want you to do this. Down here at angle 5, write 32 and the word given, because it's given to you. That's one of them done. All the other ones, I want you to tell me what they're equal to based on their relationship to angle 5. Now you can do them numerous ways, but I want you doing it based on angle 5. You can do that for every one of the angles except for one. And I'll show you why. Let's walk through it. First, right now, right across from it, angle 7. Easy. Vertical. Angle 7 is 32 because it is vertical to angle 5. And that would be my reason for it. Vertical to angle 5. Now, that one's also 32. I don't have to write it here, but I wrote it there. 5 and 6 make up a linear pair. So because 5 and 6 make up a linear pair, 32 plus angle 6 equals 180. I just have to subtract 32 from 180. So that's going to be what, 148? Yeah, I believe it's 148. So that means angle 6 is 148. Linear pair with angle 5. So that's a linear pair with angle 5. Angle 8 is vertical to angle 6 also, but I want it in relationship to 5. So you have to say linear pair instead of saying vertical to angle 6. So I want you doing it based on that 30 on the angle 5. So 8 is 148 because it is a linear pair with angle 5. Now let's look at the other 4. When we come to the other 4 now, the easiest ones are 3 and 1 because they're equal to each other. So 1 and 5 are corresponding, and corresponding ones are equal, so let's say that, 32, and we say corresponding to angle 5. And it's equal with 3 because for 3, these are alternate interior angles. So 3 is 32 degrees because alternate interior with angle 5. And 4 and 2 are the only ones left. 4, angle 5 and angle 4, these ones are consecutive interior ones, and that adds up to 180. So I would say 148 because consecutive interior with angle 5. And only angle 2, okay, I want you guys to stop and wait until I'm done with everything, okay? It's distracting me. So sit. Thank you. Angle 2 doesn't have any of these other relationships matching. Right? It's not alternate interior, corresponding, or anything like that. So it's the one there where I'm going to say it's vertical with 4. Okay, so I'm going to say 148 degrees. Vertical with angle 4, which is consecutive interior with angle 5. So it's a second level. In other words, it's a 2-step one to get to angle 2, but that's the way I do it. I still am making it matching a relationship with angle 5. Okay? The next page is one that you can do for practice. Let me give you an angle measurement that you can use to start with for it. So page 4, I'm going to tell you, if you wish to do it, I'm going to tell you that angle 8 is 165 degrees. Now, figure out all of them And I will, if you want to, you don't have to, but I will have this written out with the correct reasoning for all of them, or what is the best reasoning for all of them, when I post this on Friday.